In this video, I'm going to be telling the story of how I went from being a kid with zero livestock experience, living in the middle of town with dreams of being an NBA basketball player, to owning 40 plus animals of my own, starting a Western business, and living every day in the Western lifestyle. My name is Braxton Brown, and I'm a young entrepreneur in the Western industry. I have big goals and big dreams, and I'm just getting started. Through these videos, I'm just documenting the process in my life and hoping to teach some lessons and entertain some people. I was a kid living in town with no land, no animals, and a dream to either ride scooters professionally
So this is our first video.
or be an NBA player, which clearly was not very realistic due to the fact that I'm 5'6" and not that athletic. So I had an early interest in horses and livestock, and I had my great great grandpa was very in had deep roots in the western and ranch lifestyle, and it kind of skipped a few generations. So I kind of had that bred into me, and I always had just this interest in horses and animals and cowboys, but I wasn't in the right place for that. Like I said, no land, no animals, no experience, and no connections. So, with this lack of resources, I didn't know what to do. So, I kind of just stuck around with what I was doing, thinking I'm gonna go play NBA. Like I said, I had no connections. I had no idea what to do, and still not that big of a desire to do it anyways. I had some friends that I played sports with and whatnot that actually showed pigs at our local fair. My dad bought pigs there at the fair for his work, and I saw him make some big money. I watched it and I thought it was pretty interesting and really wanted to get into it. I just didn't have the resources to do this, so it kind of fell away. I still had this passion to do it and like burning desire, but I never got to take action on that for 2 or 3 years. However, that all changed. We bought a house in the town where my grandma lived, but it flooded. We weren't able to move into it, so we moved in with my grandma. This resulted in us living with her for multiple years, and she had the land which was needed. So we said, why don't we get some pigs? Originally, we had 2 goats, and we traded them for 2 pigs, which we then sold those 2 pigs and bought my fair pigs. This is really when my mindset kind of shifted. We raised these pigs, and I took them to fair, and at my very first show, I ended up winning reserve champion for my first fair pig. I was highly motivated because I had came from nothing, had no idea, and all of a sudden I was beating some kids that had showed all their lives. Maybe it was beginner's luck, but I was pretty happy with myself. Since that first win, we went into breeding some pigs, and we've started a breeding operation. I've purchased goats. I've gotten a horse. The goats are for another type of Western business that I'm going to be starting that involves roping. Had a lot of big mistakes that have happened. Lots of animals dying. I mean, it's been messy, and we've had a lot of mistakes. We've gotten through most of them. It's not easy. And there's lots of Googling and last minute trying to figure out why this animal's dying, and like, it's hard. It's not an easy thing to do to just start out and get right into it. It never turns out perfect right away, and you can't ever start perfect or you'll never start. And a lot of people have heard that a lot of times from everyone, but you just got to start imperfectly and just work through that messy middle time and just kind of grind through that, and you'll end up where you want to be. So now, like I said, I have 30 or 40 plus animals, 2 horses, multiple goats, pigs, all these different animals. And I started with 1 dog and a house in the middle of town. Everything is growing and it continues to grow, and I'm still young and I'm still just getting started. So I can't really say that I've succeeded yet or I'm done or I've made it, but I think I've accomplished a lot seeing where I started and where I'm at now, and the skills I've learned and the animals the experiences I've had, and now all the animals that I own and the business stuff that I'm starting. And it's a big step from where I started. I did have advantages. I had my grandma's property and I had a dad who wanted to help make things happen. He used his own money and bought animals, and we paid him back, and he's taken some losses, and we had some savings that we used. And obviously the biggest thing is this land that I've gotten the privilege of putting my animals on and getting to utilize. And a lot of people don't have that opportunity, but there's still ways that you can do this. So the reality is, I did kind of have it easy, but I still didn't start out with everything. And I'm built a lot, but you can do it too. So now, I'm going to give you 5 practical, actionable steps that you can take in order to follow a similar journey to me and be in a similar spot as me, but in your own personal life, whether you have land, whether you've started off with something or not. So number 1 is get in proximity with people already in the lifestyle. This you networking is so important. If you get around some 4-H kids and you get around some ranch owners and people like that, you're going to get a huge head start. Cuz look, number 2 is solving that land issue. And number 1 helps you solve that land issue because if you make friends with a lot of 4-H kids, a lot of ranchers, they have land. So your land issue, you don't have to go and outright buy something. You can go and you can lease, you can just a lot of people will just let you keep your animals on their place for free. So number 1 is so important, that networking and that getting in proximity with people, because it leads to number 2, which is solving that land issue, which you're going to have to do the work to find someone who wants to let you use your land, and you might have to pay to rent it. And if you have the means, then buy it. But you probably don't. So there's so many options, and you just got to look, and if you really want it, you'll find something. Number 3, once you've networked, once you've solved the land issue, you got to start small and build up. I started with 2 goats that we bought from our fair from some friends. We then traded those into 2 pigs. Sold those pigs, got more pigs, had babies from those pigs, got more pigs, sold those and kept some babies, and we've grown up, and now we've have multiple good mamas and a boar, and we're actually making some money from it. You know, so you just have to start small, start messy, and scale up as you go. You can't start big. You can't expect to have all these animals and all this stuff when you're just starting. Step number 4 is move fast, move messy, and fix your mistakes as you go. The quickest way to know what you need to fix is by breaking it. If you mess something up, if you make a mistake, then you know what to do better next time. Obviously, you don't want to be putting animals in risk or danger and treating them badly, but do the best you can at the time, no matter where you're at, no matter what you have, and don't wait to be perfect. This is a very universal concept that I've mentioned multiple times throughout this video, but you have to start messy and you have to just move fast and fix everything as you go, and that's how you grow to what you want. Next thing is, don't just pick one thing. I started with pigs, now I'm into goats, horses, hoping to get into cattle. It's not a linear path. You can go anywhere you want, you can choose anything you want, and just choose what works for you. If you want to show a goat, then show a goat. If you want to show pig, do anything. Whatever works best for you, choose that. It's not just one path. You know? Just take these 5 actionable steps and put them into your life, and you'll see results. Going off of step number 5, I am not going to stick in this one path. I'm working to move out of the pig business. I want less pigs. Only want to keep a few to breed, possibly scale that if I have the opportunity to. But I have big dreams that involve Western event centers and bucking bulls and rodeos and all this stuff. And that's where I work towards in the future. But that involves taking steps today and working with what I have today in order to get to where I want to be in the future. The truth is, if you want a life in the Western industry, it usually involves some animals. You don't have to have lots of land and lots of money. You do need some, and you do need some connections, but those are all things that you're able to get and you're able to earn on your own thing. And the biggest thing is, start small, start early, because it's better to start now when you're not ready and everything is imperfect than wait for a year and start when it's perfect. You're going to get so much further, so much faster if you just start early before you're ready. So I just want to encourage you that you can do it and that it's not impossible. Whether people make it seem like that or not, it's not true. Just keep on the grind, do what you can when you can, keep moving forwards. Like and subscribe, and God bless.